Creed is directed by Ryan Coogler and stars Michael B. Jordan, Sylvester Stallone, Tessa Thompson, and tells the story of Adonis Creed, son of Apollo Creed. Now, Apollo Creed died in Rocky IV and has left his son out to fend for himself. He is a juvie sentence kid. His mother takes him in, and he lives a luxurious life with her, but really wants to get into the ring. It's where he feels most at home. And so he quits his job and goes out to try and find Rocky Balboa to hopefully help him train. But when the heavyweight champion of the world has lost his match, he needs to look for somebody else. And who better than the son of Apollo Creed? So he challenges him. Rocky helps Adonis train for the fight. But unfortunately, Rocky is suffering through cancer and is on the verge of giving up on life because he feels like he has nothing else around him. But he has Adonis right there. And the more time they spend with each other, the more Rocky is able to open himself up to him. And the more he feels inspired to push through and survive this cancer, as well as helping Adonis reach his goals and basically have him prove himself to be the worthy successor to his father. Creed is a film that I remember vividly watching in theaters for the first time. I watched it with my sister and we loved it. We had such a good time with it. And then brought my parents along, though they kind of drove me there since I kept asking them, we need to go see Creed. I was much younger back then, so that's why. And they loved it too. And my whole family is a fan of the Rocky franchise, especially my mom. And I never heard of this film until I heard like reviews of a boxing movie related to Rocky. And so I was very interested, saw it and loved it, and watched it plenty of times back in the day. Watching it now, I still think Creed is one of the best boxing movies ever and one of the best Rocky films out there. To me, Creed did everything right for a Rocky movie and for a boxing movie in general. You have likable characters with the character of Adonis, who has a very rough background and is doing his best to try and reach to greater heights without feeling like he is the shadow of somebody who is more significant than him. But he's learning how to basically be his own man while obtaining that name. And I don't think anyone gives Michael B. Jordan in this movie in particular enough credit for his performance. In terms of his physicality and his actual performance, he, in my opinion, sells the character of Adonis. He feels like he is the son of Apollo Creed. He is great in the dramatic scenes when he needs to be. And his banter with Rocky Balboa, Sylvester Stallone, is really good. In which we gotta talk about Sylvester Stallone. He's still got it, man. I'm so bummed out he's not gonna return in the third Creed. Though it does kind of make sense, story-wise and behind-the-scenes reasons-wise. But Rocky Balboa is once again incredible here. Going through a rough journey through his old age, he obviously cannot fight anymore. Now he's dealing with a lot more internal conflicts now, especially with his body starting to give up on him with the cancer he has received. And so seeing him bond with Adonis and learning to open himself up to him more over time, sure, he takes him in because he feels like he is obligated to, because he is the son of his best friend. But it isn't until really when he is diagnosed. and they almost had a falling out is when they really start to bond with each other. But because the film was able to establish a good relationship between these two characters, their banter with one another, how it could sometimes be funny and snarky, and how they could be a little bit overwhelming to each other at times, but they still obviously care for one another because of certain history. They're able to share that and feel like they are kind of a family, though at that point in the beginning they feel more like companions, more like friends. But it wasn't until near the end when they really start to go hard on the training, and Sylvester Stallone gives a really good speech to how he's almost given up on life and is just waiting for it to end. I thought that was brilliant. Just these two characters together, Sylvester Stallone's performance, just all in general, fantastic. It's what the movie explores most, and it really delivered up on that front. These two characters bantering one another, actors giving their great performances. Tessa Thompson is actually pretty good here. Her character has kind of a hearing problem, like she cannot hear well, but she can sing beautifully, and so that kind of character trait made her feel unique. But overall, she's mostly there as a supporter for Adonis, but also had a bit of a character development to her too, in terms of opening up to someone else. But it's not really focused on that much, and I would say that is the biggest problem of the film. But it's really not much of a problem to me, just more of a nitpick that I just happened to notice. Pretty Ricky Collin is a really good villain for Creed, at least for a first outing. Sure, he doesn't pose as much of a personal threat to him as much as Victor Drago in Creed 2. We'll get to that movie in our time. But he still is pretty physically capable for himself. He learns to actually accept Creed as a worthy opponent because he starts off looking at him like, this is like the shadow of someone great. Why would I want to fight him? And it isn't until the ring in which he starts to learn throughout this fight that this kid does have it in him to be a great boxer. And despite him about to go to prison, he still accepts that from him. And so, Pretty Ricky Collin, to me, has been a pretty good villain. Sure, not one of the most standout villains. His performance is pretty by the numbers. But overall, his character was pretty interesting to see develop through. But really, mostly, this movie focuses on Creed and Rocky. We already talked about how well it maintained this relationship throughout the rest of the film, how well the performances are given, and how well written these characters are. Like, this is a pretty tight movie. It goes through the boxing by the number story that we've seen before, but really the characters that just bring it all home. The drama. And that is what the best Rocky movies do, in my opinion. Rocky 2, the original, Rocky Balboa. These movies are at their best when they're able to focus on the drama and bring in a lot of the fun boxing that we come to love. And the boxing sequences definitely pack a punch. You got that fantastic one-take scene. I don't understand how they did it. It was so seamless, so good. Ryan Coogler is one of the best directors working today, in my opinion. He is so good with his camera work, with his characters and his drama. And the fight in the end is also pretty awesome, but really nothing was able to top what he was able to do with that one-take fight scene in the middle of the film. That was fantastic. And the movie was so pretty funny. I can't really think of any major negatives, really. The performance of the villain could have been a bit better. They could have explored more of Tessa Thompson's hearing problems and character development in a relationship with Michael B. Jordan. But overall, the banter and relationship with Creed and Rocky, the performances these actors give, the story itself, the directing, the music especially. Oh my god, I love it. Especially training montage. This was composed by Ludwig Göransson, who composed Fruitvale Station, Tenet, and the Black Panther movies. He gives a really good score here that really amplifies the boxing, the action, and the drama, and was able to help make you feel for these moments. Overall, guys, Creed is an awesome film, an awesome boxing film, an awesome Rocky film, and by itself, an awesome Creed movie. And I'm going to give Creed an A. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys next time.